down the road. Kind of thing.
All right, we are starting. Oh, old guy REI is popping in already. But good morning, everyone. We're here with Joe Farrell from Strive for 25, Matt from Mojo Mindset, and we're waiting on Lauren, but we're not sure where she is. She's usually on time. But thanks for stopping by, guys.
What up?
Yeah, man. Thanks for having us.
No, yeah. How's everything going?
It's going good, man. It's going good. I was telling Mark I'm turning 41 later this month. So yeah, he wanted to call me off for being 45, get that colonoscopy. I was like, man, come on, man. Don't be throwing years on me already. I don't need that. I don't need that
Yeah, you
date.
don't need that. You don't need that extra drama, extra anxiety. Like, no,
What? Oh,
that's
there's
funny,
Lauren.
man.
Lauren's coming in. Yeah, but yeah, no, I got a procedure tomorrow, so I'm getting old. I thought it was 50, but now it's 45, so I'm kind of late on it.
Hello,
Nice.
hello.
Morning,
Good
morning.
morning.
Lauren.
Hey, new backdrop. You're not in your normal.
Yeah, I changed it up. I'm in my office still, but different angle.
All right. Well, good morning, and yeah, let's get started. I mean, kind of first thing. I don't know if you guys seen the thumbnail I put out. I put out that we're all kind of frauds. We're all kind of we're talking
Call
about this.
call it out.
Yeah, well, I really got that from one of Zuber. Was it Zuber? Yeah, he was talking with Brian Adamson, and they're talking about Dave Ramsey on how he was promoting these financial steps and things, and he didn't really achieve his goals yet. So it's kind of he was talking about the process, and he hasn't actually got there, and it really got me thinking that I don't know, are we frauds for what we're doing, or do people think we're frauds because we're trying to promote this, side hustles, financial freedom, and all these things, and we haven't reached our goals yet? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's what I'm struggling with a little bit.
Well, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind is that looking at the people that are on this call, one distinction is we're not selling anything. Well, I mean, I'm in a mortgage, so technically I'm selling money in that service, right, from my day job. But like, we're not selling products or coaching, and so I think there's a big line in the sand when it comes to that kind of stuff versus educating and inspiring, and then you tack on selling something. There's a more weight on that side of things. But I'll stop there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I have to say I do think that with social media there can be a lot of this like fraud of like you're buy my course and then you get people to buy this course and you sell them as if you're an expert and as if you're going to help them, but then you come to find out they're really kind of a beginner also and they have very little experience and really shouldn't be teaching people or selling courses. So there is an aspect to like this real estate guru type of business where people are selling things and probably shouldn't be. But at the same time, I think that sharing information and knowledge and education is a positive thing. So I think if you are selling a product or a course, then maybe you have to look at yourself and go, am I a fraud? Is this really worth the money that I'm charging it for it? Or is it worth that value? Did I put enough into it to make it worth whatever amount I'm charging? But we're not selling anything. And so I think, there's nothing wrong with sharing information or, talk. I don't think any one of us talk about things we haven't actually experienced ourselves. And like I said in the last live, um, sometimes the people that are just one step in front of you are your best teachers and your best educators. So we're helping people maybe get to where we are. There are people out there who are like, man, I wish I could just get to where he is or where she is. And so sharing that information is ultimately net positive. But yeah, if you're selling a course, then you have to look at that and say, am I providing that value or am I a fraud?
Yeah. So when Mark posed this question, I actually had to. I just had to make sure we defined fraud. I think that's also a good step in the right direction. So it's fraud is an illegal act that involves deceit, concealment, or violation of trust. And so to kind of piggyback on Lauren's point, I think the deceit is is when you're promising the world, but you're delivering copied information. Like let's just use a course for example. Like I could buy a $5,000 course, copy some of the content, claim it's mine, but I could be still at square one. And I think that is maybe a more relative kind of pinpoint of like fraudulent or like who is a fraud versus us. It's you know um, we're just sharing our story. I think there's nothing more authentic than sharing your story. I can't tell that you were wrong to live your life or vice versa. So I think that once you come on it from that aspect where you're not like preaching from a pulpit, but you're like, hey, like guys and gals, like this is what I did, this is my experience with it, and I'd like to share that with you. I think that can maybe alleviate some of the fraudulent behavior that Mark was feeling.
Yeah. And also it's kind of like a confidence thing where it's like, sometimes we feel like frauds because we're like, I'm not where I want to be. I'm not as successful as I want to be, but that doesn't undermine the success that you do have right now. And so that goalpost is always going to be moving into the future. So you're always going to kind of feel like a fraud. And if you don't feel like a fraud, then I really think your dreams aren't big enough or your goals aren't big enough, because if you feel like safe, and maybe fraud isn't the right word, because as you defined it, being like deceitful, I don't think any of us are feeling necessarily like we're being deceitful, but like that feeling, that imposter complex. Um, and I think that's like a normal feeling. You never feel ready for the place that you are in until you're past that place. And then, you need to be putting yourself in different rooms where you feel uncomfortable, you feel like you have the least knowledge. Like, I think those are positive things. So, yeah, I think there's like fraud of like selling courses and saying that you're an expert. And I do see a lot of that on social media, like after going to the Bigger Pockets conference and seeing some of the people there that are like even on stage and they're talking, and essentially they're just social media influencers, because what they're doing with real estate in real life is not as I wouldn't, in my book, if that was all I had done, I would not feel comfortable selling a course. So there's that kind of fraud. And then I think there's like imposter syndrome, where you feel like I'm not quite ready to share. I don't know enough. But there is somebody out there that would love to have the information and knowledge that you have in your head. And just because you're looking forward into the future doesn't mean you can't share that with somebody who's maybe a couple steps behind you.
Yeah, totally agree. I was gonna give a shout out to Frank Contreras from Old Guy REI. So go check out his YouTube channel. But before he commented, I was actually gonna mention him because he's trying to also share his journey, because he kind of lost it all in the 2008 financial crisis. And it was hard for him to get back into real estate, but he's sharing his journey. And like he mentioned in the comments, it's just trying to share the mistakes that we have made to help others also get started. Because I think that's the hardest part, right? Is getting started and a lot of those fears you have. So hearing it from people that have been through it, done it, and not saying that we're super successful yet, but just we have some advice and maybe to help people not make the same mistakes that we have in the beginning.
Yeah. It's really interesting, the people who've been in real estate, because I haven't been through any sort of like economic crisis or significant downturn while being in real estate, and like the 2008 crash. And I feel like there's a distinction between the people who have seen that and the people who have not. So like, there's the saying, like, they know just enough to be dangerous. I feel like sometimes I'm in that position where I'm like, you have a little success and just enough to be dangerous. Now, it's like I could put a lot of money into risky endeavors and feel like I'm going to be successful at whatever I do because that's what I've seen. But in the scope of time and reality, it hasn't been that long. I haven't been doing real estate for very long, and I certainly have not seen different markets and different economic times. And that's really how somebody has the breadth of scope and knowledge to be sharing and speaking from. So I think people who have been in it long enough to be doing it before the 2008 crash have some really like valuable insights that I certainly could not share because I haven't experienced that.
Yeah, and Janitor on Fire makes a great comment. He says these mega conferences get on his nerves, like 5,000 gold level and 10,000 diamond package. So he says those kind of things, I guess, get on his nerves. And that's true, right? A lot of people are charging a lot of money out there. And what are you really getting in return for it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of those conferences are like perceived value too. It's like there's not the information isn't anything you've not heard before, but you are hoping that you're going to like meet someone or network or make connections. And, that's all kind of up to you and on your shoulders. It's not really something that is guaranteed by paying for the ticket. So yeah, the big conferences are interesting. It's like on one hand, I love conferences. They're one of my favorite things to do. I love going. I love meeting people in person and connecting. And then on the other hand, they're so expensive and they're like for 2 or 3 days and they're hectic and crazy. And there's like so many people there. You can't possibly squeeze every drop out of it. And then it gets a little bit like kind of weird where everybody's like, oh, I'm done this many deals. I've done that many deals. And it gets a little postury and you're just like, it's a strange environment, but they're fun and they're exciting, but they're also can be really overpriced and not worth it too. So I go back and forth.
Talk about getting excited, but and talking about frauds, I'm someone is trying to get in here right now, and I'll let her in. And the biggest fraud of all is here. But so yeah, we'll see. Someone's trying to get into this thing.
Who is it?
You'll find out. There she is.
Hey, good morning.
What up?
Full house.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while.
But you have not met Matt, I think, yet. So everyone is maybe listening. Sierra Smith from Homes and Hustles is popping in. And yeah, you haven't met Matt from Mojo Mindset, but I'm sure you're seeing him all over Zuber's channel and my channel. So he's out there now.
Yeah, they're
For
a good
sure. It's good
follow
to
on
meet
social
you.
media. Yeah, I love your content. You guys are so transparent and I love I love everything you share.
Yeah,
Oh, thanks. No, we
Tesla
appreciate
stuff.
that. Sometimes you just got to go with what's trending, all right?
Mark knows all about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We have to kick off the OnlyFans and the Bears OnlyFans.
Oh yeah,
is
mention it
Mark's
now.
kind of claim to fame
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
now that we got that, I think
we'll
we're
see
ready
if it
to
works.
skyrocket our
Yeah.
audience.
Hey, you're wearing overalls. Are you wearing overalls? I can't see.
Yeah, I am. Today's overall day. I have to finish building a chicken coop later, so I'm prepared.
Oh, that's super cool.
Where have you been? You've been busy?
Yep, always busy. Been working on some merchandise stuff again lately, so got wind of a place that was liquidating a bunch of what I call blanks, right? Like the stuff that you print on. And so I scored a bunch of stuff for 85% off. And so been working through getting it and getting it ready and to list and market to people.
Cool. Oh well, before we actually went live, I'm not sure Mojo Mindset was talking about apparel and stuff. So I'm not
Oh,
sure
there
if
you
you want to
go.
connect with
That's
him.
good connection. I'm sure I could definitely learn a thing or two.
Are you wanting to make apparel or what's the gist?
I feel like it would just be just like personal apparel, just with more branding, and that way on social media, like you could just kind of rock your personal brand, if you will, and start there. Nothing like too crazy, but yeah, no, it's cool. I know you're big in the you do a lot of the ORAT clothing. Is that right?
Yeah, well, recently that's true.
Recently,
Yeah, yeah, I did a couple orders for that, which is, I mean,
awesome.
I usually do small batch orders like what you're talking about. That was definitely my first time doing a huge run of stuff. But I'm just one person, so I don't typically do like hundreds of items. But yeah, no, it's been good.
Wow, what was that like to kind of shift from the smaller batch to like almost big, is it big, big leagues, I guess, like kind of elevate that? Like I'm sure there was a lot of
Yeah, I think there's a reason why big orders usually go to, people who have storefronts and a team of people to work on stuff. So it was interesting just like how much time it took. Like when you think about 100 hoodies like sitting in your house, like that's an entire wall of just the hoodies. And so just having the space to deal with it was its own kind of headache. But it was fun. I mean, it was a lot of work to get knocked out, but it was pretty cool. And I tested my equipment, put it through the ringer doing that. But yeah, no, it was good. And but I do like doing the small batch stuff a little bit more just because it's more manageable for the setup that I have. But yeah. If you ever have any questions, I mean, I have a giant stack of apparel over here that I've been trying to sort through for a while. So let me know and I can probably answer those for you. If there's anything I know anything about, it's definitely on the apparel printing side.
For sure. Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll have to keep that in mind.
So Sierra, I don't know if you were following along before you hopped on, but do you want to chime in about we all of us being frauds, or are we frauds for what we're trying to do here?
So what are you trying to do here?
I don't know. I'm just having fun with all of this. That's why I don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was following along and I liked what everyone had to say. And to me, one thing that came to mind was that, the ultimate goal is kind of like to build this community around people who are trying to pursue the same, not necessarily the same thing, but kind of the same avenue, right? Like we're all in this real estate world in some way, shape, or fashion. Um, and I don't really view that as being a fraud. Like you're trying to kind of have this network that you're building and a community and encourage people along the way and just like go through it with people who understand versus like feel a little isolated in this journey. So I think that in that regards, like it's very authentic what all of us are doing.
Yeah, I mean, as we're talking about this, there's somebody that comes to mind that I know personally who, is in the DC market. He's been hesitant about sharing his story at all. He's on social media doing stuff, but not really talking about the real estate side of things. And he started pretty small. When we're talking about the DC market, he started buying townhouses like in the $140,000 range, which, if you know the DC market, it's a high cost market. And this wasn't probably the best area, but it was good enough. And we bought a few, and now he's got other things going on, working two jobs. But he's been hesitant of putting anything out there. And he's like, his thing was, I just haven't done enough. When I've done more, I'll put it out there. And I had my comments back to that, but I think there's a lot of that out there. I just haven't done enough. And to be frank, we look at the broad demographics. I mean, so many people, the millions of people in the country, right? Like, how many are homeowners? How many are investors? How many are choosing to share their story? It's such a small percentage of people that are on social media putting content out there. There's plenty of people that need that first couple steps of that journey, to know someone's that were there with them as well. So I don't know. It doesn't matter where you are. If you've done something, there's somebody that needs that extra assurance.
Yeah, my first questions when I started were like the basic questions, like like literally, how do I buy a house? Like, okay, you got to find like your real estate. It was like the most basic. And it's sometimes kind of hard to find that information because by the time people are sharing, they're skipping over all of these things where you almost feel lost listening to it. It's like, okay, yeah, you're making it sound so easy. Like you just go and get a mortgage. It's like, well, but who do I contact for that? Like, how do I find that person? If you've never been in the real estate space and you're like totally disconnected. So like for him, he could share like what it was like to get that first house. And in some ways that might be the majority of people looking for content right now might be in that place where they, like you said, there's not that many people really that are investors if you take the entire population. So it might be really beginners that are starting out and he could have the most valuable information for them because everybody else is skipping over that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that's the biggest thing is I think getting started is the hardest part. And, that's why we relate to a lot of people, because they're trying to get started, and they're in the same position that we were just maybe a few years ago. And sometimes some of these bigger channels, they seem to forget that they're talking about creative finance and purchasing without cash flow, just worry about appreciation. And these are all things that when you're starting, it's kind of, you could get in a bad position if those are the things that you're gonna start your investing journey with, right? So I think a lot of us is just trying to share our journey, share our mistakes, and also just stick with the basics in the beginning. And then once you kind of get your feet wet, then you can kind of branch out. But I think that's why a lot of people like coming back here and resonate with a lot of our stories.
Yeah, the phrase that comes to mind is like kind of the curse of knowledge. And when I heard that in the beginning, I was like, I was like, oh, like what do you even mean? Like a friend was like kind of reach out, and it was talking about real estate stuff. And it was like, this progression to like answer Elaine's questions, where it's like the beginning steps is like, now it's like, oh yeah, I just talked to Joel. Like I just like hit up Joel and he's got it all squared away, versus like, well, Joel is a mortgage lender or a mortgage broker and he owns this company. And it's like, oh, like all that knowledge that I like knew just getting started, but then I forgot because it just became like the norm. I think like that gap gets larger and larger and larger the more and more that you're in the space, the more that you're doing deals, the more that you're analyzing deals. So I think the phrase that also comes to mind is like document to create. So as somebody that doesn't have a deal, they could document the process of, hey, this is my first time analyzing a property. Like I'm documenting the creation of my knowledge, and this is what I'm gonna be as the foundation for my journey. And I don't think there's anything wrong in that. I think it's super authentic to that person. So I think if you always compare yourself to others, you're just gonna find the thief in the joy. So I say just put it out there.
Yeah, I think about Joel when we were at that REI event.
REI.
Yeah, and we were the only people creating any kind of content there, like to the point where like no one even really understood what it was we were trying to do. And there is, like you said, just such a small percentage of people putting it out there um who are even doing the work. So there's so many or so much experience to be tapped into just through interviews of people who aren't creating content. Uh, and it is like this beginner phase is very hard. And I remember my first question on Zuber's channel was like, where are you getting the notifications for your buy box? Like, where is it you're setting that up? And and he was just like, I mean, anything like Zillow, Redfin. And it was just like one of the most basic questions. But the way that they are presenting it, you just don't, you think that they have some sort of like special expertise or something to that they've got figured out. And there it really is like the most basic questions to get started. And then once it starts clicking, then it becomes second nature and you're like, oh yeah, that's not question anymore. But yeah, that's the biggest hurdle for so many people, the learning the acronyms just so you can understand what people are talking about. There in the mortgage industry there's a bunch, in real estate there's a bunch, and pretty much any industry there's stuff that I noticed the Amazon sellers that Joel's been talking to, like they have acronyms. I'm like, everyone has an acronym and I have no idea what anyone's talking about, so I have to Google stuff like that. So there's a little bit of like barrier just to getting started, but that once you, like you're saying, once you get past that point, you forget what you need to know when you are trying to figure it out.
Kind of like
Yeah, that
HMU,
room was 300
hit me up,
plus.
like HMU.
Exactly like that.
Hit
We
me up.
really gotta bring that up again.
I always gotta. Oh, Matt, maybe you don't know about that.
You got to fill me in, but HMU, that sounds like hit me up, right?
Yeah.
Well, to Joe, it's
Sounds like a meme coin to me. We're talking
move
about
or
Stack and Slick and stocks and whatever, and then an HMU.
sorry, man, I cut you off. Go finish what you were gonna say, man.
Who?
You were talking.
Oh, I was just saying that in that room in Nashville, there were 300 people there. I mean, it was a great event. The speaker was really good. Both speakers were really good. And we set up shop. We did a couple of interviews, and there was nobody even thinking about that. And yeah, to your point, Sierra, like plenty of people that could have been documenting or capturing content because people are doing things. I look back at my mortgage journey, and this is something that I'll always say about the mortgage industry, is that the mortgage industry, the people who are originators are the worst at marketing, the worst social media, the worst marketing people. All you ever hear about is a rate and a product and this, and it's like, and I'm guilty of this myself. But we're so, I look back at my 18-year career. I mean, the stretches when we're busy, we have no time to think about putting content out there. We're just trying to take care of clients. But the people that we help that, maybe they have a tight debt to income ratio, and we help them figure it out, or the credit building or the divorce situations, like all these crazy things that we deal with that on a day-to-day basis, like we're looking at someone's personal financial situation. There's things that we hear that their mom, their dad, their financial advisor, their friends don't talk about because like we have this glimpse of their internal finances that they don't necessarily want their people to know about. And it's just an interesting dynamic that we have all this information and knowledge and situations that we come across and help people with that we don't really talk about it much as an industry. And I think that for sure is a missed opportunity because there's a lot of things that we can share that could help, situationally some people. So it's just interesting.
Yeah, just someone had in the comments has maybe a good question for beginners that one of you want to tackle, but it's kind of, are you loyal to your insurance provider or do you shop around?
I definitely shop around. I am not loyal to my insurance provider at all, especially here in Florida because insurance is crazy. It could be a big difference.
Yeah, agree.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I would say I'm loyal to like my insurance broker, but he like shops the insurance providers, right? So as long as he's willing to do that without me having to consistently ask him to, then I'm good.
and that was kind of eye-opening for you, right? Because you just went to Oklahoma and we're looking at property. Isn't insurance actually pretty high there?
Yeah, it's gotten higher. It's interesting because, a lot of people are like, well, there's, tornadoes, right, in Oklahoma that cause a decent amount of destruction. And but the thing is like there's always been tornadoes in Oklahoma that cause a decent amount of destruction. And and so it's not like a new thing. Where like I feel like hurricanes are a little less frequently where they are like wiping out stuff in Florida, right? Whereas like a tornado causing damage in a city in Oklahoma probably happens every single year. And so I don't know that the insurance thing going up in Oklahoma recently has much to do with the tornadoes. I think I read something yesterday, as far as insurance goes, that said that like during the pandemic, a lot of insurance companies like kept their rates the same for a while, because of trying to help their customers out. And then like it's now like in the inflation of the asset prices is increased so much since that time that now they're kind of all having to across the board bump up their rates to kind of keep up. And so it feels like it's hitting everyone. Even here in Tennessee, like our jump was over 25% on our insurance. So and our agent said like it's like that with all of the companies. It's not just the one that we had. So I think it's a little bit of both happening, but yeah, insurance is definitely going up everywhere.
I just want to say we're probably going to lose all our viewers right now because the daily financial is probably starting soon. So everyone come back after you go watch the daily financial news with Michael Zuber and then hop back over.
Yeah, my insurance broker I've had to shop around for insurance because sometimes I can't get insurance on um like if a house doesn't have, they're so strict here that if a house doesn't have a new roof, HVAC, um what else? The electrical and like certain plumbing things, like those things all have to be pretty much updated. Um, they won't they won't give you insurance if they're not. And so if you're trying to buy like a fixer upper or something, I've had to go through, there's only one insurance provider that is Liberty Mutual, and they only write 10 policies a month. in Florida for these types of houses. So you have to have a new roof for them, but they don't care if like your water heater's a little older or your HVAC is a little older. But yeah, they only write 10 policies a month. So you have, and if you have more, if you have other policies with them, like life insurance and stuff, then they'll give you like preference. So I have life insurance through them just so I can get home insurance through them on those like fixer upper houses. But then for like my Airbnbs, I use a different insurance that's like, it's better and more comprehensive for the Airbnbs and like commercial properties. So I think it's good to shop around if you have like different types of properties, because sometimes it feels like you can't get insurance on a place. And actually the house I'm renovating right now, another person had it under contract and really wanted the house, but she couldn't get insurance. And so I got the house simply because I could get insurance, because I had that like connection with this other insurance broker. So could be that one little thing that sets you apart, is being able to get insurance in this day and age, because it's gotten a lot more challenging in Florida and California, and probably other places too. I just don't know about those places.
Ned,
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
go
just
ahead.
said, the condo market in Florida with the new law coming into place in 2025 and all the requirements, and any building that's over 30 years old has to meet all these, new inspection criteria. I mean, it's kind of causing havoc, especially in southern Florida where there's more condos. Just a lot of uncertainty for sure.
Yeah, I know people who can't even sell their condos. Like nobody wants to buy them, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. I think it was on the Resi Club. They published some recent data. I think it was like commercial multifamily and or commercial real estate, multifamily condos, like just the sheer price cuts that they're having, and they're highlighting properties in I think it was like like Texas and maybe even Florida, where these properties are taking these massive haircuts, 20, 30, 40% from when they purchased in 2021. Now they're selling for 30, 40% lower in nowadays. And it's like, yeah, I feel like there's more pain, but opportunity if that's kind of your space, or if that's something that you're looking to explore as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how this kind of all shakes out. I feel like the bad debt will start popping up if
Oh
it
yeah,
hasn't already.
we're getting right to that point where, usually those are on like 5-year. Joel, you can probably speak to, I'd be curious what your opinion is on this, but we're getting to that like 5-year mark where people who did like syndications on like apartments, condos, that kind of thing, their loans are going to be coming up and they might not be able to pay that mortgage payment because their interest rate is going to be higher. Have you seen anything like that coming down the pike?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reports and a lot of stuff that I started digging into was late 23, where there was some news spreading about, okay, there's a pending, issue coming in 25, especially that, yeah, the 5-year balloons, 19, 20, et cetera. And I think kind of going back to the residential market, so many people are putting their house in the market and they have it at a price and they're selling it because they want to. If they get that price, then they're going to move on. But if they don't get the price, they're going to just keep it there. And I think that's what's going on. People are just hoping and praying that the Fed lowers rates at some point and things get back to a more of a normal, closer to where we were in 2021, 22. And I think that's really what's freezing the markets. And from the Fed and just the powers that be, I think there's a huge incentive. I mean, they're talking trillions of dollars of commercial debt that's coming due with really, really low rates. There's a huge incentive for rates to come down so that those loans can restructure at decent rates. So, I mean, all signs are pointing towards rates coming down in 25 even more. And, all the things that we know about coming out of the 0809 crash, we have more levers to pull. And unfortunately, the most impactful and powerful one is, lowering interest rates, which continues to create, asset bubbles. And that's the most powerful one that we have. I don't think they're going to deviate from that as we get into the, end of 24 and 25. I mean, it's just a situation where you created this situation by throwing $5 trillion into the markets in COVID. And now it is what it is. You can't undo it. So what are they going to do? I mean, it's going to create a situation where we have a massive crash or prices keep going up and the gap between the top and the bottom continues to widen. I mean, that's how I see it.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective. I hadn't really heard anyone put it like that before, where it's like they almost like kind of have to bring the rates back down. Otherwise, all of those big commercial loans will default, and then that will be detrimental overall for the economy.
I just want to say hi, Victoria, in the comments. Thanks for stopping by. I haven't seen you here, but she says she's sitting in a 100-year-old building with rentals in Colorado, and insurance went up about 35% last year.
Wow.
And then, and then she goes on and says, we lost a lot of homes to fires last year. One whole subdivision in a city, and that impacted our rates, according to one insurance agent.
Yikes.
So I have a question for all of you. If you had a paid off property, would you opt not to carry insurance on it?
My answer is a definite no. I would definitely have insurance. I mean, I guess it depends on is the property, how's the property being used? Like, does it have structure, like a good structure on it?
Yeah, I'm thinking like a regular residential house that is maybe a rental property.
I would for sure have insurance.
I haven't quite thought that far into my investing in journey here. But if I were to put myself, I guess, in that position, I think I would choose to pay for peace of mind, if that's and if that peace of mind entails some sort of insurance. I think that's probably the route I would go. Nothing like, I guess, a little sleeping a little better at night versus like kind of playing that kind of what if game. So I think I think I would.
So that's kind of a touchy or tricky subject, right? So I mean, it's been a while, but if you kind of go back to, I think that's an issue with the Lahaina fire victims, right? A lot of them didn't have insurance or proper insurance because sometimes, like you said, even when you pay off your home, you may not be paying attention to some of these other expenses, the insurance coverage that you have, or the value as it's gone up. So a lot of them either didn't have coverage or didn't have sufficient coverage for what the property was worth, right? So I think, yeah, it's really, you got to kind of evaluate your portfolio. And if it's your primary residence, then yeah, I mean, you probably want to maybe take that safety or have that kind of sleep well at night, right? Knowing that you have coverage on your primary residence. But as far as rentals, I would look at it, maybe the cost or the value of the property, and maybe see, but definitely if it's where you're living, I would really make sure that I probably had insurance on that.
As we're talking about this, there was something that Zuber had on his channel a while back about paying off a mortgage or not paying off a mortgage, and one of the things he talked about was the insurance piece of it. That, let's say that you have a house that's paid off and there's a claim on the house of a destruction or whatever, fire, water, whatever. If you're on your own dealing with the insurance company, they're going to do everything they possibly can to not make that claim, pay that claim. If you have a mortgage on it, then you're going through the lost payee stuff with the mortgage company. They want to protect their investment, and then you've got the mortgage company's lawyers working on your behalf to make sure that the insurance company pays the claim. And I never thought about that, to be honest. But when he said that, oh damn, that makes sense. So like, I mean, stuff happens, and having that clout behind you makes sense. Plus, put your money to work. Paying off a mortgage, peace of mind. But if you're trying to grow or do other things, not always the best choice. But again, that's a debate for another day.
Team Heck is trying to get my channel canceled, talking about blue rules and stuff. So some conspiracy theory stuff.
Oh man,
is that a conspiracy theory?
I've never heard that one.
You guys never heard that? Oh
no,
seriously?
You guys haven't heard of that's that whole laser thing, like those laser. If you're
Mark, now you're gonna get your channel canceled.
Yeah, this is just from what I've heard. I don't.
It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole. Deep rabbit
hole.
But
it's about, like, that's how those lasers can't, what is it? They can't see it, or they can't, or that's how they determine. I don't
That's
know
how they
that.
determine not to hit those
Yeah.
houses.
So like he says, if they paint it blue, you paint it blue, but that's how the lasers avoid those particular houses, supposedly, from what
When you say
customers.
who's they,
You guys really
and
want
who,
to?
and no, no,
Well,
no.
what's funny
We don't.
is
We don't
that
have
like
to.
in
We don't
other
have to.
places, in like Florida and Texas and other places, after that all happened and the conspiracies came out, people started painting their houses, their roofs blue in other places.
Yeah.
And yeah.
2024 bear color of the year,
Yeah.
huh?
Go look it up, everyone. After this, blue cars and lasers, and go see what you can dig up. But but Ned actually
That's
makes a
so
lot of
funny.
great points. I kind of skipped over a lot. He's been making some great points about insurance. Let me see if I can get back to it. He talks about yeah, frequency is the total number of claims. Severity is the total cost of insurance. Companies measure both, and they try to track and predict the risk market trends. So I guess, like just like things with inflation and everything, things are costing more too. So that's a lot of why, insurance is going up too, is the cost of repairing or replacing, and these type of things. And his other comment was tornadoes, fires have higher frequency but less severity, so they don't have the wild effect to an insurance company's total surplus as a huge
Oh,
incident like a hurricane has. Oh, okay.
interesting.
It's good perspective.
What does Ned do?
I don't know what he does, but he has a YouTube channel, so you should go check him out and
Oh yeah,
follow
that's
him.
right. I need
Yeah.
to check it out. Sorry, Ned.
I forget exactly what he does. He didn't really. We only hung out with him towards the end of the Zuber event. Oh, but you weren't there. You and Matt.
Yeah.
Oh, and Lauren wasn't there.
Tell you that the next, so we already talked about conferences. The next conference, I feel like it'll be that'll be a good opportunity. That won't be such a mega conference. It'll be what you said, 400 people in Vegas. I could do that. I could do that.
Oh, that's the perfect size.
Yeah.
Blue cars weren't burnt.
Down the rabbit hole we go.
I'm
So
telling you, go look it up.
I know I forgot to pose this question for everybody, but it had to do with the share why you share content, why you put yourself out there. So kind of like switching gears. I know we were kind of down the insurance and blue roof rabbit hole, but I would like to pose this question. Um, what do you say to somebody that, because I heard this question recently, that's kind of asking you, they're like unsure of, they don't want to put so much of their personal content, or they feel like this kind of veil of privacy. So I guess what would you say to this, someone that's just starting either content creation, a YouTube channel, or just putting themselves out there um, on a topic that they are passionate about, or a niche that they're really excited about? What do you tell this person to maybe get over that edge and kind of get the ball rolling to build that momentum?
I see a lot of faceless content out there. Like you don't have to put your face out there. You can make um B-roll footage and do audio and words and all of that, or it could be like written. Some people are more drawn to, maybe they do X. It's like X is not um you don't see video or photos as much on X. So I think find a way to do it that you enjoy and you like, and that doesn't compromise. If privacy is really important to you, then find a way to do it without compromising that. And it might be that people love it and it goes viral and they don't want to see your face, like they just appreciate the words and and the writing and reading or whatever. And if you're putting out good quality content, then I think there's a way to make it work for sure without putting yourself out there.
I think I need more context to answer the question. The person is wanting to create content, but not wanting to share a lot of personal information.
Yeah, I guess we'll like kind of pose it this way, like, there's, I guess, the fear or the criticism that they might see on, whether they're let's say like Instagram, and they're seeing the comments and they're like, oh my gosh, like social media is ruthless. Like these people online are so mean. And it's like, that could be perceived as like, like that takes a lot, like a toll if you're, maybe, taking stuff personally, and, you're sharing something that you thought was like really valuable, and you just get shut down out there in the online. So does that help? Give
Yeah,
some
for sure.
context. Okay, great.
So yeah, so that fear of other people's opinions, right, is a massive hurdle for people to get over. I think one of the best solutions to that is like this community, right? Like you kind of have this like built-in hype team who will comment positive things that actually understand what you're putting out and your situation, and you have that little bit of support that you're like, as long as like these 5 people like are good and like they think I'm doing well, then I can be at peace with like whatever garbage comes out of everyone else. I know that I've had, comments on my stuff that like when I have my kid working with me, right? Like my son might be like he he might be helping me, and I'll get comments that are like, "Oh, I can't believe you're exposing him to like mold, like he's going to be so unhealthy," or look at him laying under a wall that's just resting on a jack. And I'm like, you don't understand. Like this, you know what I mean? Like they don't have any context, but they're spewing out these things that um they take a toll on you. But I think at the end of the day, like you have to, I mean, I don't have thick skin by any means. So I'll either go on, like I have no problem blocking people. I have no problem limiting my audience to people that I know are wanting the content. I think that's a benefit of having a smaller audience over like going viral, or having a big audience, is that most of the time when you have a smaller following, like it's going to be people who connect with you rather than people who are tearing you down. But at the same time, like if you're not sharing that personal story and some of that like more vulnerable information, like you're going to have a harder time resonating with people and building that connection of support. So I think that's kind of my roundabout way of going at that, is like it's not easy, but if you have a community of people supporting you, like that solves a lot of that. The feeling that you get when other people just randomly comment on stuff and they don't understand.
If you're talking about the anonymous part, I mean, immediately I'm thinking about that finance guy who
Mhm.
who just gets slaughtered out there. I may have been one of the people doing so, but Mark,
What?
did you hear what I said?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to answer these questions in the comment, but yes, you're a bully. You're a bully on X. I
I'm
can
not
hear
a
you,
bully.
and
I
you
am
start
not a
fights and then
bully.
try to drag me into it. Hey,
Yeah,
Mark, look
because
what this guy did.
I might have dragged you into the fire once or twice. That's true.
Hold on, I'm trying to answer these. All right, hold on. What? Okay, you're
No,
done.
but
Wait, hold.
to Matt's point though,
Okay.
like I mean, I've got my own journey, mortgage, real estate, start a podcast, whatever, and something I have been thinking about for a long time, for 5 6 years. I had to get over my own shit to, think, okay, is it really worth all the time and energy, and is anybody even gonna care what I have to say? And maybe not, but then at the same time, there's people who need our help in some capacity. It's our job to find those people. So that's what I had to get over.
Steven has a question. He says, starting out, I want to grow. I could add an additional room in the attic. Tenant is good, and it's just one person renting out a 2-1. Should I not add the room and find a new property to buy?
Is it like 1,000 square feet, 2-1? I would imagine the attic is, I guess, in what area of the country is this? Because I know there's,
Is he
maybe
in
attic space is
Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
different.
Steven's in Pittsburgh.
Mm, not well versed in the Pittsburgh market, but are there a lot of bedrooms and attics up there?
you just stay away from Pittsburgh. You just stay in your. No. I'm saying I think I would consider it like if it becomes vacant, but I wouldn't try to do anything now while there's a tenant in there. I mean, if another deal comes along, I'd probably hop on that instead. But if it comes vacant, then that would be probably when I would evaluate how much rent I could collect or how much rent it would increase. But yeah, that's what I would do. But yeah, Sierra has like, where did Team Heck go? I can see Sierra going viral. First heard of her on Stay Winning Video. So if anyone doesn't know Stay Winning podcasts, and he's here too in the comments. He said good morning, winner. So go check him out on X and YouTube. He has an awesome YouTube channel.
On the attic thing, I'm not sure what it takes to get a finished attic to be called a bedroom, or if it's pretty much always used as a flex space. So I'm not sure if you'd be able to, say that you added a bedroom. I'm not sure what the stipulations are on that, but I would consider that when thinking about adding the room up in the attic.
There was a question I want to go back to. Oh, if when you have kids, will you give an allowance?
I don't.
You're never going to give an allowance?
I doubt it.
Really?
An
Huh.
allowance for what? For helping around the house doing their share of the
For
responsibility?
existing.
No. I mean, I have like I've created opportunities for him to earn money, and so but none of those opportunities are like his regular contributions to the household, right? Like I don't get paid to take the dishes out of the dishwasher or do the laundry. But if he wants to like come with me to a pet sitting job, right, and feed the cats or clean the litter box, then like he has a chance to earn money, but it's his choice at the end of the day, like if he's going to come or not. Um, so I mean, there's things like that. I mean, if he wants to set up a lemonade stand or do something entrepreneurial and go to the neighbor's house and ask if he can take their trash to the dump or something, then he's more than happy to do that, but no allowance.
That's an interesting thing to think about too. Like if you're giving them an allowance for doing like the basic things, the things that they kind of like already are expected to do, you're kind of like creating a little bit of like an employee mindset too. Versus like if you're like, if you want money, figure out a way to go make it, like go do a lemonade stand, go knock on people's doors. Like that's the entrepreneurial mindset. So you're kind of like giving them like yeah, there's these basic things you have to do in life that are just going to be part of like living and being in a household. And then if you want to like create opportunities for yourself, you have to go out there and like find them and like think of the idea and go create it for yourself.
So what about, because your son's what, 8?
Yeah, gonna be 9.
So what about when they're like 16, right? In that journey, okay, the car insurance, gas money, go get a job, pay for yourself. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you're gonna do?
No, I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna incorporate kind of what Sierra's talking about, is teaching him kind of the value of money, right? So, jobs or things you perform are gonna get you a certain amount of money, but it's also, it's your money, so you do what you want. But at the same time, if you can't be sponging off of me for certain things when you have a bill coming up, or but you mentioned cars and stuff. That's another funny thing, is like, man, nobody wants to drive. These younger kids don't want to even get their license anymore now. I have a couple guys at the firehouse. Their kids have no interest in driving. They're like, oh yeah, whatever. We'll just walk or catch a ride with dad. But there's no interest in driving anymore. Like, I'm
Really?
sure. Yeah. Like I was like,
I mean,
Wow.
it makes sense because you can just hang out on your phone and don't need to go anywhere to meet your friends.
yeah,
Yeah, but how do you get away from your parents?
that's
You know what
Sierra's
I mean?
big
Like, how
thing
do you?
right there.
I don't know. I can't imagine just being like, no, I'm good, hanging out at home.
That was like my best friend was like one of the most popular like popular kids because he was the first person that could drive at like 16, got his driver's permit, you know. It's like, wow, are those days kind of over now? Oh no, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely a trend that I can't wrap my head around.
Yeah, my niece is 16 and I was like, "Are you excited to get your license?" She was like, "Oh, I don't know." And she also has like I feel like younger kids have like performance anxiety. And I don't know what that is. Maybe it's because they're afraid that like if I take a picture or like take a video of her or something for like an event, even if it's just like we're on vacation, we're taking a family photo, she's like, nobody post it to social media. Like there's this like anxiety around like performance and like it being put out there for other people to see. And I think that's where hers comes from, of like being afraid to drive. Like if she doesn't do a good job, like everyone is gonna know.
Oh, dang. So I feel like, you know, of all the good that comes with social media, like the bad, like that point in particular is like the judgment or the openness of like your like business. I feel like is, I mean, those negatives really, I feel like, you know, we're not going to know the impact, I think, for like the younger generation or the generations to come of, you know, social media for in that respect. So that's a little disheartening to hear almost, you know, like that's pretty sad.
Yeah,
And I mean, I think we can all do a little bit better job of modeling. Like, I mean, we all talk about how sensitive we are to the feedback we get to, right? Like, oh, we stress over what we're going to post, and we talk about that a lot. And especially like within our own household, right? Like it's like, oh, let's work on creating something that's like really engaging, or like you're focused on that, right? And so I think that is also modeling that to that matters, right, to kids. So I can see how they're picking up on that, and we don't really realize that like we're the ones setting the tone for that.
absolutely.
Yeah, Stay Winning says true. Stats show Gen Z was lagging on getting their driver's license before other generations. Yeah. But talking about social media a little bit, I kind of, Matt brought it up too, but like Lauren, I think, we're not much further ahead of you in the social media side, but you're seem like you're trying to do a lot more and put yourself out there. So how has that been, this kind of journey into the social media realm?
It's been fun, honestly. I I'm not really worried about like people making negative comments or whatever. Honestly, just because I'm like, I don't think anyone's like seeing it really. You know, I'm like, there's not that many people on there that are seeing my stuff. So I'm not like worried about it. I'm not thinking like I'm gonna go viral or anything like that. I'm just like slowly, I'm doing it really for like the community, and I like um connecting with people and talking to people and hearing other people's stories. So I enjoy it a lot. I think it's really fun. But I'm not like super crazy about like making the content, like the actual like editing process and all of that. So that's why I'm like not posting, you know, I could be posting more and I don't, because I'm just like, and like X, I don't know, it really hasn't grabbed me. I'm gonna stick with it, but it has not yet grabbed me. Maybe because people are a little bit mean on there. Maybe
Yeah.
I,
Did you see that, Sierra? Lauren kind of got her first kind of, I don't know
Oh
what you
no,
would
I
call it.
didn't. I haven't been on
Yeah,
as much.
I didn't
What
even see that.
happened?
I just posted a video. Oh, it was the video of the fence, and said something like, "What, you know, is it worth it for $3,000?" And this guy was like,
Oh yeah.
"There's no way that that cost $3,000. It was way more than $3,000." And I was like, what, I mean, I have the receipts. I paid for it. I don't know.
Like it's right here. It's like
Yeah.
invoice.
The picture with the receipt. And then he's like, "What's up with the metal posts?" And I'm like, "There are no metal posts in the fence. It's all wood." So it was just strange. He was just like, "You're a liar."
Oh,
You're all
okay.
lies. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's really good for engagement. And
Yeah.
that's really how I always try to take that stuff, right? Is I'm like, the more outrageous comments that you make, the more people are going to stay and keep reading because this is so outrageous. And like, that really helps me out. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a friend. I was literally just at their warehouse yesterday, and they have an e-commerce business. They have like 150,000 subscribers on YouTube and like 200,000 on TikTok. So they're like in the social media game. And they have an e-commerce business where they like open packages and stuff. And sometimes they pretend not to know like what it is that's in the package. And people are like, you're so dumb. Like, how can you not know this? But the engagement is like through the roof. So she's like intentionally plays into that because it creates more engagement. And she's just like, I mean, I don't really care because it's making my things go viral and supporting my business. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Whoa.
mean, I think about all of those like Facebook reels and Instagram reels, right? Where it's like clearly staged acting and like you get sucked in. You're like, this is such a waste of time. But like here
You
I
know
am
it's fake.
watching this.
Can't stop watching.
Yeah.
So
All right,
true.
so Team Heck says more of Sierra, please. See, she
Okay, we've
both.
got somebody's got a new
Fan
fan.
club over here.
Well, Hyder's here too for some of you, but
Hyder's in
uh,
both places.
yeah.
Hyder's
But
in both places.
Steven has a
He's got
question
both
for
streams going.
Lauren. Says, "Hey Lauren, what was your thought process of choosing a wooden fence versus vinyl?"
Um, I just like the look of the wooden fences better than the vinyl fences, I think. I didn't even honestly do a cost comparison. I don't know if vinyl's more expensive too. But oh, the other thing was I wanted the fence to be it's like an 8 foot tall fence. So I don't, maybe vinyl comes in that size, but honestly, I just didn't even consider vinyl. I just like the wood fences.
What was the other project that you were working on? I forgot. The one you showed on Instagram. Was
The
it the
fireplace
Yeah, yeah.
mantle
How did
thing.
that turn out? Is that finished?
Yeah, that's finished. Thank goodness. That was way more work than I anticipated. A lot of learning in that one. I used the wrong type of concrete because there's like a vertical wall, and I didn't realize that there's like different types of concrete, and the concrete wouldn't stick to the brick. So it was just like I'd put it up and then it would fall off. And I
Oh
had to like
no.
smush it. Yeah. And then it was like I had paper down on the floor and it was like soaking through the paper, and I just have all new flooring. But then I was already halfway through, so I had to finish it, and it was super heavy, and I was just getting like exhausted from literally just trying to like smear it across the wall. So I did that, and it was fast drying. So it was like drying as I was going. It was a whole disaster.
This sounds
You did
like
it all
me
in
trying
one
to
day,
DIY
right?
stuff.
Yeah. But then I realized that there's ceiling and wall like concrete that you are supposed to use, and it's like stickier. So once I got all of that on there, I went over the top of it with the right kind of concrete. It was so easy. I literally was just like scooping out, troweling it on, and it was sticking perfectly, and I smoothed it all out and it was fine. I was like, wow, if I had just done this in the beginning, I would have saved like probably 6 or 8 hours of time. But it turned out great. I'm super happy I did it.
So you posted one showing it kind of like you're like questioning if this was worth it, right? And then pretty quickly after you showed it completed. But so that was done way before the original, or
No,
no?
I did it in 2 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I spent an entire day on it. And then it was like probably when I showed a picture before, and then I posted a picture as I was like halfway through, and I literally was sitting there. It was like 10 or 11 o'clock at night. And I was just like, did I make a huge mistake? I'm just like, can I even get this done? Can I finish it? It's halfway covered with concrete. So like, I was just like, I have to push through. I have to keep going. I have to somehow get this concrete on there. And then by like 2 a.m., I had gotten the second coat on, and I had to wait up for the second stuff. It didn't have fast drying in it. And so I had to wait up for it to like mostly dry, but not fully dry. So that I could take a sponge and just like you can smooth out and like sand it and make it like perfectly smooth. So I was up till like, yeah, like 2 or 3 in the morning finishing that. And then the next day I painted it.
Team Heck is asking Sierra, when are you going on Stay Winning's channel? Is that up to you, Sierra, or is it up to Hugo?
Guess it's up to me.
Oh, okay. Oh, but then
Oh, is that right?
then he says, I don't think I can have Sierra on my channel anytime soon, unfortunately.
Okay, who said that?
What are you like
Then
charging
he
now
said,
or
ask
something?
her, LOL.
Oh. Oh, hider. You gotta, Lauren, you gotta do like your work. I don't know. I forget her name on Instagram. Honey fixes homes or homes fixes honey or something. She like does all like the labor or the work in like lingerie or bikinis, or she's doing like
Anything for the click, huh? It
yeah, but
works.
Wow.
she's doing like all the, she's using power tools and stuff, and she's like in lingerie or her bikini and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think that's where my brand is going.
Yeah, yeah.
I would like to come do some DIY projects with you, Lauren, and we can document the concrete process. And that's the thing though, is that's the kind of stuff that like people don't want to take on DIY because they end up hitting that, right? Where it's like, oh, I didn't realize that there's two different types. And if you don't share the mess up part and just make it look like super easy, then people don't realize you're staying up till 4 in the morning to like wipe your concrete down with a sponge. And that's next level commitment to a project. But it is so much headache to get stuff done. And but then like once you know how to do it, that's the other thing with DIY stuff too, right? You learn how to do something and then it is a skill that you will never use again. And you're just kind of like, awesome. So now I know everything about this. And unless I share it with people, then like this knowledge is kind of just like at a dead end. And so that's the best part about getting to share that stuff on social media is like, I hope that I save someone else from making the same mistake.
Yes. And I thought that I was like filming a time lapse of it, but my phone died during the like filming process, like pretty much
Oh
at the beginning,
no.
but my hands were covered with concrete. So I never could check on it and
Oh,
see.
no.
And so I was just like, well, there's nothing really to share. Like I have a before picture and I have an after picture. And I thought I'd have the process, but I don't. So, but I'm like, I could still make a video just sharing like, because I did I did a lot of research. I was like trying to find YouTube videos of like how to do this.
Mhm.
And there really wasn't that much. Like there was nothing out there. Like nobody ever mentioned that there's like different types of concrete and that you should, if you have a vertical, you should use the wall or ceiling concrete. But yeah, when you were talking about your chicken coop, I was just like, oh, I want to see how this goes because I might be doing a chicken coop at some point.
Yeah, I built the chicken run part and now I need to build the little house part. So I'm interested to see how it comes together. But I've gotten some like free plans off the internet and stuff, just to kind of get an idea of what needs to be in it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person who like likes to measure stuff out beforehand. I like to like build one piece and then like make the next piece fit and then make the next piece fit. So we'll see how it ends up.
I feel
The
like
chickens don't mind if it's like slightly off.
No, not at all.
that's right. And then it's like the biggest thing with the DIY projects is like you just know it's just gonna take longer than you even anticipated. We're like, all right, we got like 3 or 4 hours for this project. All right, 8 hours later, I go to sleep. I'm like, all right, I'm not even done. I gotta wake up tomorrow morning and do this. Like that is the there's one thing I learned about all these DIY projects is it will take longer than you
Mhm.
anticipate.
Yep.
Ned had a comment earlier I forgot to mention, but it says a real estate investor I know, I think he has 1,400 units, inherited it from his mom. But when he was young, his mom owner financed laundry machines building by building to him and made him run that. Yeah, I think I'll do something like that. Or even like a house hack, right? So, when you're if you have a kid and they go away to college or somewhere, and you kind of hopefully find them a multifamily and have them live in one unit or part of it and become a landlord and learn the process themselves that way. I think that's kind of my vision a little bit. And then there goes Hyder again. If it's not taxes, now he's talking about motor vehicle. Title 18 U.S. Code subsection 31 describes the definition of motor vehicle. Oh no, I missed something. Oh, motor vehicle involves commerce with the state. If you're not doing direct commerce with the state, then why the need for a license? Sovereignty for the win. Yeah, Hyder's amazing.
Well, in Alaska, you could probably get away with that.
Yeah, Hyder, when are you gonna be in Alaska? I think Lauren, when did you say, when are you gonna be there again?
I'm going to be there in July. From like July 10th into probably like early August.
Oh, that's
I
gonna
hear
be
the
a good
summertime
trip.
is the best time to visit.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be a good portion of time. And I have 3 of my friends from Florida coming, one of whom has never seen mountains before, because she's from Florida and she hasn't had the opportunity to travel that much. So I'm so excited for her to see, because like there's no, I've seen a lot of mountains and like there's none that are like the ones in Alaska, because there's like glaciers coming out and the hiking is just incredible. So yeah, I'm super excited to like share that with my friends. But if Hyder's there and he wants to, does he live in Kodiak?
Let's see. Alaska is coming up. He'll be there June 5th to July 25th.
Oh, okay. So there'll be in what area?
This is like
Yeah, I feel
I
like
can't remember.
Alaska's huge. You gotta like kind of
Yeah.
pinpoint that.
hopefully
Well, I'll be in Homer, Hyder. So if you want to come to Homer.
hopefully he has his food barge idea up and running, or that was an awesome idea. I don't
Right,
Yeah.
know.
like the floating concession stand. That's how
Yeah,
I think of
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, I don't know. Oh,
Did you see Hyder or not Hyder? Zuber's live is about this crash is going to be worse than 08.
No.
I'm confused. I don't
Gotta
catch
hit
all
them
the content,
headlines.
but like he's always talking about Crash Bros got it wrong, Crash Bros got it wrong. So is this just a headline grab, or does he really think that the market's going to crash?
I'm guessing it's clickbait.
well, I don't. It's clickbait in a way, but I bet I haven't watched it, but I bet he's probably gonna say something is worse than 2008 as far as maybe some indicator. Doesn't mean that real estate is going to crash like 2008, but something currently going on in the economic environment is going to probably be worse than what something happened in 2008. So he's probably being true to what he's saying, but also kind of reeling you in, like how he kind of got you questioning. So it's probably related to something in the economy.
The comments are saying
Yeah.
it's about the commercial crash.
See.
Yeah, not residential, more so commercial. Okay. So it's a white lie, right? It's like true, but kind of got to dig under the surface a bit. But
Oh, can you see everybody's hopping in after the daily financial? Like I said, got Lars here. Yeah.
I gotta hop off in about 5 minutes.
What?
Yeah. So I'm doing a trial run for
wow.
my live next week on Wednesday. Cost seg with the CPA, and then actually this kind of came out of the blue. I'm doing like a live panel with 4 or 5 of the top agents in kind of the Amarillo Coast short-term rental area down there. So got a lot kind of going on.
Don't you have something going on with Lauren tomorrow? What is that all about?
Yeah. So tomorrow with Parker Biederer, I think that's how you say his last name. He's an Amazon guy. Dylan, also Amazon guy, but he's also a real estate guy. So kind of talking income streams and Lauren's side of things with the tortoise income stream. It's just talking income streams and things.
And
I
what
can't
time
wait
is
to
that?
listen into that one.
Yeah, what time is that?
10 o'clock tomorrow.
10 o'clock, what? Eastern?
I'm sorry, 10 Central
10 Central, all right, on your channel, right?
on my channel. Yeah.
All right, cool. So everyone go check that out.
I feel like that would be a good niche is the income stream with the with the turtles. Like, that's like unique. You gotta get creative, and it's like, oh wow, people can do this. Like, there's some good content, authentic content right there.
I love the little fox video that you posted that the fox is in the tortoise den.
They're so cute. They're like, I was just walking around the property and they just like poke their little heads out. And I was just like, oh, we have a new little fox family who's moved in. And my neighbor actually contacted me because she kind of was upset because she's had like 2 new big tortoises move from our property onto her property. And she was just like, are you guys doing something to disturb the tortoises? Because nobody really wants them because they're kind of like, you can't build around them, like they take up your property and you can't move them or like harass them at all. And I was like, no. And then I went back there to check it out and there were foxes in those tortoise dens. And so I was like, oh, sorry, the foxes kicked them out. I don't know what to tell you. They had little babies. So yeah,
Oh,
there's like 4 baby foxes running around the back part of the property.
okay. So I'm getting a suggestion. It would be great to have links to the speakers' channels in description. I guess I got to do that next time. Or if you guys want to post it in there now, but I'll add it in there afterwards.
Can we put links in your comments?
Oh, man, I don't know.
What could we?
That's why you got to make Hyder an
from
admin.
Zoom, right?
Oh, okay. What is that?
If we put the links in Zoom, well, no, in our group chat, and then you could just like,
Yeah, I
because you have
can
the
add it in
interface for the.
Yeah, I can put it in the description
I'm
of
sure
the
there's
live.
ways.
And then, but I'm wondering if we can put it. I'm pretty sure you can post
I just
it.
posted mine, but I don't know if it's hyperlinked or not.
Oh,
This is a great segue towards the question of when do you first hire
yeah.
that social media, I guess, admin or behind the scenes? Because for me personally, I think I kind of adopted what Mark was using was Opus clips just to help splice up some long form content. And I was listening to a podcast. It was a couple years ago, but it was, I believe his name is Peter Diamitis, but it was the idea behind the content diamond, where it's like you answer one question in a long form video, and then from that long form video, it kind of like splits off or branches into like a YouTube short, a podcast, Instagram reel, TikTok, whatever. And then it like you could consolidate all that to like do like a blog, article, etc. But just kind of throwing that out there is like, at what point do you feel necessary to bring on somebody either as like a contract VA, virtual kind of help? I guess the floor is all yours to kind of get your thoughts and words on that.
I have some thoughts on that. Does anybody else have any?
You go.
Go for it, Joel.
I hired a VA about a month ago. Helped me with a bunch of different
Sweet.
things. And I think the biggest 2 questions that you want to try to identify is how much money are you comfortable spending, not knowing you won't see results for a long period of time. That's the first thing. And the second thing is really what's your ultimate goal? Is it visibility? Is it leads? Is it to sell a product? Is it this or that? Like, is it a YouTube channel? Is it build a community? Like, what's your ultimate goal? If you know what those things are, then some of the other things will come into clarity.
Yeah, so when I was working as a social media marketing manager for some people in real estate for a while, and one of the things that I think is hard is that we all, not all of us, but a lot of times we're focused on growing on all of these different platforms and we want all of the benefits from it. Like I want, virality, or I want more leads, or I want engagement. And like we have all of these different things that we're thinking that we want out of it. And until you can really articulate like what your KPIs are, right? Like what is, like Joel's saying, the ultimate goal? Like, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers, or do I want to get, 10 leads a month? You really have to narrow it down so that you can outsource someone a specific, that they can create a strategy around that specific key performance indicator. Otherwise, it is going to be kind of haphazard, which is the way, we create content, because we don't do it in a way to do just one thing. Like, we're trying to be broad and have a lot of different, like, avenues off of stuff, and make a lot of different connections. And so when you go to outsource to someone, you really do need to be able to articulate what it is you want out of it. And, if there's a certain style of editing that you're looking for, or a certain, if it's short form content, long form content, if it's a certain platform you're wanting to work on, I would just think that the more specific you can be, the more likely you're going to get the result that you want, and then branch off from there.
Yeah, I hired a woman in because like I mean I don't really enjoy making like reels and stuff like that, but some people do. And my friends I mentioned earlier that have like a lot of social media following, they edit all their own stuff. Like they haven't hired anyone and they're super successful. And I'm just starting out and I already hired somebody, but through like Fiverr or whatever. And it's this woman and she's a mom that works in like Pakistan yeah, I think she's in Pakistan. And it's like, I enjoy supporting her because she's like a female and a mom. And this is like her thing that she does while she's at home with her kids. So for me, I'm like, it makes sense for me to do it because otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. And it's cost effective. And I don't have some like expectations that it's going to go viral or whatever. I just want to like get it out there, and it's more of like the practice of posting. And so I do like, we agreed on like a certain number of videos per month. And so I just send her all of the links and extra stuff, and I let her choose what she wants to clip into a video. And so for me, it's just like easy, simple. I'm not really investing a lot of money into it. And then if I want to make extra stuff around that, I can. So I think it also depends on like your propensity to social media and if you enjoy it. Because I think if you do enjoy it, you can kind of make your clips more engaging and interesting and add more of your own voice into it. Mark, do you edit your own stuff or do you just post it raw? Like, who does your editing? Did you hire someone?
I do all mine. I have fun with it. I kind of enjoy it for now. But I mean, I think I'm getting better at it. In the beginning, it was horrible, but I have fun with it. But All Nighter Hider says the guy I know that has helped Ken McElroy with his media presence costs about 10K a month. Holy crap. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, kind of going back to Joel's comment is, how much are you willing to spend for that specific goal and what you exactly want to outsource. So I think those are all good considerations. And, you don't have to make the decision today, or, you could post some stuff and see what you like. And if you like editing, maybe then you keep that in house. But if you don't like coming out with scripts or ideas or, that sort of thing, maybe that's kind of where you start the question of like, okay, like what exactly do I want to outsource that I don't like to do? So it's good.
Joel, what was the process like hiring a V? Like, where's your VA from? Are they out of the country?
Okay, so two things. I had hired a VA a while back through virtual staff, which is good. And the people were okay. It was a little clunky to be able to like, okay, this is what I want to have happen. Getting on a Zoom to explain it and then have them do the work, and it was just very clunky. At another event that I was at, I met a guy who runs a company called F.I.R.E, and they have a service that they go find like amazing VA. So both sets were going to be in the Philippines, but the guy that I have right now, like he's just on point. He's showing me how to do things and kind of leading the way, because I have too many things going on. I don't know what I need to know, and he knows more than I do, and so he's put together a content. Like if you look at my Stride page on Instagram and on TikTok, like I have a TikTok video that went 121,000 views. I have a couple Instagram videos that 5,000, 10,000 views. I mean, this guy knows what he's doing, and he's leading the charge as opposed to me trying to figure things out on my own. So
That's
um,
awesome.
it
Nice.
really, unfortunately, there's a wide range of options.
Did he purposely put the blue steel face out for you?
Steel face. I don't know.
No,
Sorry.
blue steel from shoot,
Oh,
what's the
the movie.
yeah, what is that movie?
Zoolander.
Zoolander.
Oh.
Go look at Joe's
That's
X.
what captures them in.
Go look at
Right?
his X page. He posted it, and it's like whatever image they caught, it has like his blue steel face on there.
Yeah. No.
Let's see who we got. Yeah. Oh, Hugo's gonna do something on StreamYard maybe later, or live stream. Oh no, wait. Yeah, I don't know the StreamYard.
I gotta jump off. Wish me luck.
All right, man. Thanks for
Good
stopping
luck,
by,
man.
Good to see you all,
Yeah.
and you too, Sierra.
Check
Bye.
out Joe's stuff tomorrow, 10
Woo.
Central, right? 10 a.m. Central with Lauren and
Yep.
yeah. All right, man.
Yeah, I'm pumped to have you on, Lauren. Can't wait to hear. Do you want to set up in front of a tortoise? Those tortoises that went to your neighbor's yard, can you get them and bring them back and put them behind you?
I might be able to capture a tortoise. I might
Wow.
I might not be able to do it as a side hustle anymore because it's totally illegal, but
Joe's always
anything
making
for the
trouble, man.
content.
That's right. All right, see y'all.
All right,
Bye.
man.
See ya.
Bye.
Yeah, I think wow, coming up on an hour and a half. I'll probably leave in five minutes as well.
Cool. Yeah, we'll wrap it up soon.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Hyder says I do no editing because I'm tech-tarded and haven't learned how to yet.
There you go. Sometimes you just got to know yourself, right? That self-awareness aspect.
But I mean, some of that, the no editing stuff, I like it too. Like a lot of Zuber stuff, right? Is no
Yeah.
editing, and I still prefer to watch the daily financial news unedited versus on his
Yes.
other channel. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if it's authentic, right, to the content that you're putting out and who you are and how you're, you know, making your story known, then it works.
Yeah. So how do you like Opus so far, Matt? Pretty easy, right?
Yeah, it's super straightforward. I tried to create like I guess you could say like a daily system of like, so we have like, you insert the full video, like this live, for example, you insert the full clip, and then I guess my thing is like every day I'm just gonna go and edit one of the auto generated shorts or reels, and then once I edit it, I'm gonna go ahead and post it. And they have a cool little, obviously like an auto post on the calendar. The only thing with like, I think I got the $9 plan per month, but the only thing is you can post on that auto calendar that instant. You can't schedule it out, so it's kind of a bummer. But I'm like, hey, if I just make that my like daily habit, where I just I got a video ready to publish, I can disperse it out and it'll auto post to YouTube, Instagram, and I just have to like copy it from. I have to download that file, post it up on X, and then I use F.I.R.E as like my X sort of auto scheduler. So I guess I'm hiring maybe some software initially. Excuse me. But I think for the purposes of our needs, just starting out, learning more so, I'd say taking it more seriously. I think if you ask me, like, I've been posting myself and my wife Jess, like we've been posting content maybe like probably like 4 years now, but it hasn't been serious. It hasn't been scheduled. It's been kind of like Sierra was talking about, just like haphazardly into the wind. It's like, oh, this is kind of fun. Like, oh, like, isn't it cool? We'll edit this video. And then like 6 weeks later, we still haven't edited that video. Like work, life happens. And so you're just like, all right, I'm going to commit to a schedule, and, we'll do that for the next year, 2 years, 5 years, and then kind of document that journey. So long story short, it's good for now.
Wait, sorry, I totally missed. What are you using for your scheduling platform? You said
Yes. So for the videos and the reels, well, I just piggybacked off what Mark uses, Opus clips, And
Okay.
then for X, there's another like social media integration, and it has scheduling, and it has like you're able to schedule like recurrent posts, and this is strictly for X, and so that's what I use.
What
Just
is it
a
called?
Hype Fury,
Oh,
HYPFURY. Yeah, Hype
okay.
Fury. So um yeah, I think I've been using it since January. So five 5 months. But it's good. I think it just keeps the content that I want to like share. I think it just keeps recycling that to a newer audience that comes to the channel, or things that I'm like, yeah, like I think this platform it lends well to my current like 9 to 5 career progression right now. I think is probably the best way to describe that.
Yeah.
So
Hold
I've
on. Oh,
noticed,
go ahead.
oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead.
I've
Oh,
noticed when I schedule tweets on X that they do not perform nearly as well as when I just write them and post them immediately. Have y'all had that experience?
Hmm. I I have not really noticed that.
Okay. It may just be, just that just how it happened for the week that I was testing it out, but I could try again and see. But that was the results I got the first time. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't schedule them. Maybe I should just save them in my drafts or something and then like go and post them later.
hold on. I'm trying to help Joe out. He's asking. Hold on.
Yeah, everyone needs to go subscribe to Joel's YouTube
Yeah,
at Condotel Hub.
I
At
think I.
Condotel Hub.
Oh shoot, did
Yeah.
I spell it
Perfect.
right? Hold on. Condo. No, I think I spelled it right. Condo Tel Hub.
CONDOTELHUB.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
He's
everyone
got one
before you
more.
guys, yeah, everyone before you guys leave, try to go subscribe. I guess you need 50 subscribers to start doing lives. So you
Interesting.
guys, yeah,
We're
He
gonna get
needs
him over
three
the hump.
more.
cool. Yeah. It's good having you back, Sierra. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's good to be back. I mean, I always like when I'm in some sort of routine, but haven't been in much of one lately. So,
Yeah.
um,
I've been
yeah,
limiting my cat videos I've been sending you too.
I know. Well, I'm so bad now at like even responding to my text messages. So I apologize. I will get better. It will, I don't know. I'll get back on the social media train soon. But like I
Have
just
you been
when the
busy?
Yeah, when the weather warms up, I just like have way more to do, it feels like. And so, and like we're trying to navigate this whole transition of like if we're gonna move or not and looking at properties and I want to get a duplex, but I'm also trying to like document and like build up the funds to put the down payment in for the duplex because I wanted to show that like you could do it like get the down payment and like I didn't want to use any of the income that from like our savings or like generated from our rental property or anything. Like I wanted to just outright like hustle for it and see if I could share, the different things I was doing to save up that money because right, that's one of the barriers that a lot of people have are like, oh, I'm never going to be able to save up this down payment. Um and so I feel like I like have been really focused on trying to do that and then other things have to go, I can't do it all. So um anyways, that's where I'm at with
That's awesome
all of
though.
that.
That's going to be, I mean, that is your viral content. Like everybody wants to see somebody like actually doing it. And when you see someone doing the hustles, you're just like, oh, I could do that too. And it makes it really possible.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to document on X like every time that like my fund goes up. So like anytime I get a check from like the cat sitting thing or if I sell some, merch. I'm even like on the merchandise stuff, like I didn't even count like the orders from Zuber because like that is technically a business that I've already have established. And so like that doesn't really seem like side hustle income necessarily, but like I might go do like a trade show, like a vendor booth or something and try to like sell off some stuff that is, in that anyone could get, like a flea market type thing, or I don't know. We've been like flipping stuff on Macari, um, stuff like that. So like I'm trying to document stuff that like I think anyone can do, um, and see where it gets me.
That's
Cool.
exciting.
Hopefully Joe is
Heck
still
yeah, that's
listening.
awesome.
But stay winning. Hugo says, I hope he's tested going live because YouTube gives you a 24-hour waiting period. Yeah, I forgot about that. So hopefully
Oh,
Joe's listening.
Oh, it's 10:30 Central, so get him to test it shortly, or else you might just have to like push it to the right a little bit.
I thought Sierra was avoiding us because I thought she was gonna hop on here and she was gonna have her new studio or background and everything. I thought she was
I
just
thought
waiting.
so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in another room, but I used I did a call with Paul on the Hive Mapper thing and just used a virtual background the other day. Hopefully I can get, I don't know. We'll see. I need to finish this room so we can rent it out and or sell this house or whatever. I have so much to do. But
I'll come
instead I'm
help
gonna
you
go
do
build a
your.
chicken coop today anyway, so there's nothing productive happening.
I'll come help you with your DIY project.
Perfect. Yes. I mean, honestly, I've thought about that too. Do you follow Taylor, is it Taylor Coleman
Taylor Coleman
Adams
Adams. Yeah.
on Instagram?
No, let
She
me
does a
find.
lot of DIY home reno stuff too. I think you would really like her. And I'm like, the three of us could get together and do some. Look, we could renovate a whole house together,
Yeah.
probably. I
Maybe
think we could do it.
maybe I should get
That
her
would
back
make for
on.
great content.
With your
Yeah.
powers combined, you
Yeah.
guys knock it out.
Maybe yeah, maybe I should reach out to her. Maybe I should get her back on. I interviewed her a while back, but then she's not as active, seems like, on social media.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think she's kind of taking,
yeah,
some time to just do the family stuff right now because
yeah.
they had that huge Airbnb project last year. So, but yeah, I feel like as far as DIY stuff goes, like we could do team up and do some stuff that would be entertaining.
That would be fun.
Oh, it's gone. There was a comment that I was gonna share, but it's not there anymore.
Well, I really appreciate the invite. Thank you, Mark, for hosting.
Oh
Probably
yeah,
gotta
man.
head out of here in a little bit, man.
Yeah, I'll
But
send
it
you
was really good to
the
chat with
link
y'all.
after, and you can cut it up and put out some stuff.
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks
This
for
was
stopping
super
by.
All
fun.
right.
Yeah.
All-star lineup.
Yeah.
Great to chat with you, Matt.
Yeah, it's good to finally meet y'all, and yeah, it'll be good. We're looking forward to this. Like you said, that small community that kind of got each other's back. I think that it really makes a difference in this journey.
For sure.
Yeah, before we go, I guess the last one, Team Heck for Sierra. Something about $6,000. That's why they were trying to reach out to you for graphic needs. So yeah. So there you go. You got another side hustle coming up, Sierra, if you want it. But
Yeah.
yeah, thank you folks for stopping by again. And this is always fun. Glad to catch up, Sierra. And yeah, we'll do something again maybe next week.
Yeah.
Sounds
Let's do it.
good.
And go check out Lauren tomorrow. Hopefully Joe can get it all set up and your guys' live is working, but want to hear more about the tortoise wrangling or whatever side hustle you got going on. But yeah, thanks everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.